Welcome to the podcast, Aftersight, everybody. And today we have a couple of very special people. We rarely get to have co-hosts on the podcast Aftersight. And today we have Brady Steffel, who works here at Audio Information Network of Colorado. And our guest today, which we are so very, very excited for, is blind Warrior Sven. And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you, Ben. It's my first time too.
Yeah. Sven, can you tell us a little bit about your vision loss? Were you born blind or?
Well, can I jump in and say Sven Sven plays, is it Super Street Fighter 5?
Street Fighter 5, yes.
Street Fighter 5, and he is, I played Super Street Fighter 2 years and years ago.
Yeah, me too.
Super Street Fighter. So you are from the Netherlands and you are a very high ranked Ultra Plat currently, or where are you on your main account?
Ultra Diamond, so
Ultra
that
Diamond.
is one step away from Master.
Yeah, so that's insanely high and better than I've ever been in a fighting game. And
it's among the 1% of the world, so to say.
Yeah, so that's who Sven is. So I want everybody to know and understand that going in, because I think it's phenomenally impressive.
Yes, and that's why Brady is here today, because I don't know anything about gaming. I think I played like Super Mario's as a very young kid, but I could never see to play and never got advanced with my blind skills like Sven has to do what he's doing. So Brady is here because Brady is also a gamer. And so I'm so thankful, because I'd be totally lost in this conversation.
Right.
So yeah, Sven, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're from a long way away.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I live in the Netherlands, and that is in Europe for people that don't know exactly where that is. I'm currently 36 years old, and I got blind when I was 6 years. So before I was fully sighted, was enjoying my life like a kid, going to school, playing games, wrestling with my older sister from time to time. And then all of a sudden, we went on vacation. No, that was not all of a sudden, that was planned, but we went on vacation. And all of a sudden, I started to get huge headaches every day. And it turned out that it was a tumor, and the tumor destroyed my eye nerves. So in August 92, I lost my sight completely.
Wow. What a huge transition for you as a kid. Like you said, wrestling with your sister one moment and then, finding out you have this tumor. And so the removal of the tumor, I'm guessing, is what took away the vision.
Yeah, the tumor was indeed causing the blindness. But what I remember from that time is that I was sighted, and then I was already in the hospital, because at that time they were still trying to find what was the reason for my headaches. So I went to sleep and I say goodbye to my mom, and my mom was sleeping next to me in the hospital. It was a children's hospital. And the next morning I woke up and there were a lot of people talking there, and it was dark for me. So I was like, hey, Mom, why are all these people talking here? I mean, it's night. People should sleep, right? And then my mother said, no, it's 11 in the morning. It's completely light here. And then it turned out that I got blind that night.
Wow. So how long did it take you from that hospital stay to really, accepting what had happened and moving on with your life?
I think that took me a couple of years, because you should imagine that in the time when I got blind, I was fighting for my life. I had a really aggressive form of cancer. I had 2 cancer types at the same time. I had what we call acute leukemia in English, I think. And I also had a big tumor at the same time, because those cancer forms are not related to each other, but I had them both. So I was fighting for my life, and we still had the hope that if the tumor was gone, that maybe my sight would come back.
Right.
So until the cancer was defeated, so to say, we were still hoping like, okay, maybe one day he can see or I can see again, but that didn't work out the way we hoped. So as soon as I was free of the cancer and I was safe, so to say, then I had time to start learning that it was definitive that I was blind, and that I had to live my life as a blind person, going to school, being blind for the first time, making new friends, doing sport, trying to get my hobbies back. One of my biggest hobbies as a kid was playing video games. Now, I remember that the first day I came home from the hospital, you should know that I went to the hospital in August 92. And the first day I was allowed to go home was in November 92. So I've been in the hospital for more than 3 months in a row. So that was the first time I was at home as a blind person. And the first thing I did was walking to my room as good as I could, turning on my computer. I had an Amiga 500 at the time, where I played a lot of video games on. And I was sitting there grabbing my joystick and I was like, oh, this is not going to work anymore because I cannot see the screen. And I was very angry that day. I didn't want to live anymore. I was like, oh man, my whole world has crashed, and how can I ever survive this? And so you can imagine that was a really terrible day, which actually should have been a very beautiful day because it was the first time I could go home again. Yeah. But it was such a disappointing in that way.
So at that point, what was the first game that you played then?
As a blind person, or?
Yeah. Well, when you came back, because I mean, I can imagine the same feeling because I've been playing video games probably even just a little longer than you because I was born in 82. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, when you had that day, and then there was a day when you said, maybe this game will work, I'll try it. What was that day, and what was that game?
Well, the game that I played or tried to play when I was the first time at home was the game that was in my Amiga system before we went on vacation, because I directly went to the hospital during our vacation. We broke up our vacation that summer. So I think, if I remember correct, that it was the classic Prince of Persia game, the very first one that was still in my Amiga, and that one was what I was booting then, if I remember correct. But that was unplayable for me. I mean, I couldn't see anything on the screen. But luckily, a couple of months later, when everything settled down a bit for me and I was accepting, like, okay, I should try to find other hobbies to do in my life, then a friend of me called me and he said, hey, would you like to play here? I have a new Nintendo system. It was the Super Nintendo. And would you love to play here? And I was like, no, that is too much confrontation for me. I mean, he's going to play on his new system and I would like to join, but I cannot see it. But my mother, she wanted to do something else that day. So she was like, go there, because then she could go away herself too. So I went to my friend and he was playing Street Fighter 2 on his Super Nintendo. And I was sitting next to him, and after a while, I was like, hey, I can hear when he is punching, when he is kicking, when he is blocking, jumping, etc. And well, after some games, I tried it myself. And of course, I was very, very bad in it at that time, but I had fun. And so I really enjoyed that day. And when I came home, I told it to my mother. Like, hey, I've done this and this and this, and it was so fun. But my mother, we didn't had a lot of money in the family, in our family. And a Super Nintendo plus a game, that was very expensive. But luckily, the rest of my family, my grandfather, my uncles, my aunts, they put money all together to buy me a Super Nintendo with Street Fighter 2. So one day when I came home, and I don't remember where I have been then, but one day when I came home, I could hear sounds coming from my own room. So I went there, and there was a Nintendo playing with Street Fighter 2 on it, and I was so happy then. And I think I have played for hours that day.
So that's odd. Like that is amazing because the Super Nintendo is the same system that I started with.
Wow.
And I remember because my brother and I, it was expensive, and my brother and I got that together as a Christmas gift.
Oh, I see.
And I don't even think we got anything more than Super Mario Brothers, which is a good game, but.
I think my sister, I had a sister as well at that time, and also a little brother, but he was not, he was 2. So, but my sister, I think she got Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that game that is having Mario 1, 2, 3 and the Lost Levels in one cartridge.
I played the Lost Levels and I was confused by the mushrooms that kill you.
Oh yeah, it looks like the Lost Levels. I've been sitting with my sister when she was playing it, and I was just listening to the sounds because I could enjoy that. At that time, I was able to enjoy those things again.
Right.
And from what I noticed is that the Lost Levels is really a difficult game to beat.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why they called it the Lost Levels.
I think that they said these, particularly the Americans, aren't going to put in the time to beat this game. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
So now, what's your temple? Tell us about what's the Blind Warrior Sven temple and like what you have going on, because you must have been playing Street Fighter games for a long time, and now you've built a community.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I've been indeed playing Street Fighter for a long time, and I must say that Street Fighter also helped me. How do you say that? Getting to learn my disability. Not to learn living with it, but in those moments that I felt really sad about being blind. Everybody that has a disability knows that you have that from time to time, especially when your friends are doing something that you cannot join, or when something else happens, and that is really confronting. But Street Fighter, I remember, was really helpful to me to get away from those sad thoughts in my mind. I played it for a very long time, and then a couple of years ago, I started to play the latest version of Street Fighter, which is Street Fighter 5, and I had it on my PlayStation 4. And my girlfriend, she said, "Well, you should try to play a tournament." And I was like, "No, that is not something for me. I'm not good enough like that." And now, at the end, I went to a tournament, and maybe we can talk about it later in the podcast. But I went to the tournament, and after the tournament, people were asking me like, "Hey, you should start streaming. You should start to, be more on internet with your gameplay." So I decided to start streaming on Twitch. And when I had my Twitch channel, people were asking, "Hey, you should have a Discord." Because every streamer has a Discord. So I created a Discord, and on Discord, my server is called the Blind Warrior Sven's Temple. And that is indeed a place where I communicate with people, where I post information about my streams, about myself, about Street Fighter. People can talk about Pokemon. People can talk about every other game they want. My giveaways are there. It's just a community place related to Blind Warrior Sven and everything that is going on with him.
That's amazing, Sven. So with your community, and then also with the skills, like you said that you used gaming sort of as a coping mechanism for losing your vision. But I also, when I'm listening to you, it's like it also taught you echolocation, and it actually taught you how to use your ears, which is like the number one tool for us who can't see, that we actually have to learn to listen. Because I lost my vision when I was 9, and it was a transition to go from using visual to using audio. And it sounds like that's what you were using and having fun at it, because it's way more fun playing games and learning those skills than it is from a from a teacher, teaching skills.
I think playing video games, especially on audio, was good not only for giving me a lot of fun, but also indeed to make me more focusing on what I hear. As a sighted person, people are more used to use their sight if they cross the street or if they do. People are doing everything with their sight.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are saying like, yeah, oh, could you hear that? Well, I never thought about that. And I was like, oh, but that's so obvious that you can hear it, that you can hear a car driving by or whatever.
Right.
But playing video games indeed has improved my sense of listening. And at the same time, in real life, I could use that. For example, if I walk outside, I walk with a white cane.
Yeah.
But when I'm walking in the street, I'm also listening to the walls around me, to the houses. Like, okay, here I can turn around the corner because there is no wall anymore without touching it, because the sound is different. It doesn't work, I can tell you, with lantern posts because they are too small to echo the sound. But parked cars or stuff like that, they can also tell me like, okay, it's a little bit busy here, so you have to walk a little bit more to the left to pass them, for example. And what I also remember is when I was at school, I was also participating in the football matches that we had, for example, during gymnastic or in the school breaks. I was then the goalkeeper, and I remember that I wouldn't say that I was the best in the world, of course, but I was able to save some balls when they are shot on my goal, and I could almost precisely point to where the ball was with my hand if people would ask me.
Yeah.
And I think that is so great to be able to do things like that, because I enjoy those things. I mean, I really wanted to be doing things that other people also want to do. What people used to say about blind people, they are so good in music or in singing. Well, I can tell you, I am not. I mean,
Me either.
When I sing, I reach tones that doesn't exist in the nature, so to say. And playing an instrument, well, I can drum a little bit, but that's all. But yeah, just playing football, playing video games, doing other things that other children and people like to do. I think that's amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah, in my head, I'm picturing what it would be so amazing to have a video game that was specifically to teach echolocation and direction. It's kind of amazing that doesn't exist. So that when not just children, but even adults, when they lose their vision, if they had something fun, like you're talking about, that they could, sit down in the comfort of their own bedroom or their home and learn these skills and have it be fun. Because I didn't have that. When I first learned the cane, I hated it. You had this special teacher that pulled you out of class in front of everybody. They all knew you were going to be, treated special but if you could learn those skills in your own comfort of with your bedroom, you felt safe in there. And I think you probably learned 1,000 times quicker because it was fun and you felt safe than it would be the traditional way they're teaching blind students.
I think learning something while you enjoy it is always getting faster than learning something that you actually don't like to learn or that you have no interest in. But to answer your question, I don't think there are actually games that are specifically made to teach you to learn echolocations and such. But there are certain audio games. I mean, there are audio games in the world, and I think if people would start with them, those games are made to only use your ears. I mean, you don't have visuals on screen, so you are only depending on your ears during those games, and of course your hands to press buttons, of course. But those games are also like, okay, you walk now in a street and you have to find your way to another street by turning corners and moving around obstacles, dodging people that are running into you or jumping on you or whatever. So I think if people would like to start with those kind of games, it can be helpful. For example, this Saturday I am going to a special. What is that called in English? Let's call it an organization that is organizing some kind of event for
like a conference or
conference. Yes, a conference for families with blind children. And they invited me to be there, and I'm going there with a couple of laptops so that the children and maybe their parents, if they want, can try out different games that are specially made for blind people. But I would also be happy to let them try Street Fighter, for example, to see, hey, if I can play it, maybe there is somebody else that can play and enjoy it too. So I'm really looking forward to that day and to see how the children are reacting on it.
Yeah, and what a great thing it is that those kids have you to look up to, because, I hear it so often that blind children find it hard to relate to their heroes, like sighted kids. And so I have a feeling that you are going to have a huge fan base of those little kids when you go to this conference.
My most important reason to go there is that they have joy, and if they see me as a hero, well, I think that would be a great honor. But my most important thing is that they are enjoying it, and then I have pleasure too, so to say.
Well, speaking of superheroes, when Brady told me that you actually, when you're gaming, you wear a mask. And in my head, that's, superheroes wear masks. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, why do you wear a mask?
That is well an interesting story, because the first time people saw me on internet playing a video game, that was during a tournament, but that was on April the 1st. So the commentators were saying, this guy is blind, so we are interested how he is playing. But people on the internet that were watching that game, they were like, this is a trick. This is an April Fool's joke, etc. And when I started streaming myself afterwards, I sometimes got people there. They were like, he can see, this is just fake. This is bull. Oh, sorry. This is this is fake. This is we don't believe this. So that's why I thought, like, okay, let me put on a mask that I can prove I am completely blind, and I play this game without vision. And even then, I mean, like 4 weeks ago or so, I got a viewer on my channel that was like, okay, he has a small LCD screen in his mask or something like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And okay, and then I was like, okay, guy, you see that white wall behind me? There was no screen hanging there. I will turn off the mask, so I will put away that small LCD screen, as you say. I will turn around, watch the wall, and I play my next game.
Oh.
And I did, and then he was like, it's fake. And I was like, okay, yeah. I said something that I'm not gonna repeat here, but
I will say, like, watching you play is fun because, like, I don't know a lot about Street Fighter. It's not my game, but I played enough to know. But, like, when you're playing, it's not just that you're tracking what other people are doing. You know how much damage each of the abilities does, and so, like, 90+% of the time, when somebody's, like, if you're about to win, you go boom, and then, like, that person, you beat them, and because you track that, or you're like, I wonder why they didn't use this ability. They should, like, that bar that they needed to fill up should be full. I wonder why they didn't use it. And I'm like, I can't even keep track of this game. I'm blown away at the ability that you have, that you've built up over the years from playing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say, like, it's how it is for me, and I like to play this game, and I spend many hours in practicing and enjoying the game. And don't get me wrong, I also lose matches and I also make mistakes. I mean, but that is the fun with playing games. I mean, I don't think I would enjoy a game if I was that good that I was unbeatable, because then there is no challenge in it anymore.
Yeah.
But you, and two, like, I've also been impressed at how you tend to keep your mental all together. Like, you play and you don't get tilted. You're just like, oh, GG, like, that guy's pretty good. I wonder why he didn't do this, and then da-da-da. And then you're just, like, nice and even keel, so it's a fun stream. How do you keep your mental together?
Well, to be honest, I can be salty sometimes as well. But that is. I try to learn myself, like, okay, if I were watching a stream from somebody else, what kind of person would I like to see? What would I think is fun to watch? And I don't think I would be happy to watch a guy streaming or a girl streaming that is swearing every time, or that is completely going on tilt every time, or losing their minds. Or I'm not that kind of person myself. I mean, I can imagine that it happens. And it also happens to me from time to time. But when I'm streaming, I don't want to swear a lot. I don't want to scream, or, I mean, from excitement, that's no problem, but I'm not going to blame. I mean, if I lose a match, that means that my opponent was playing better that time. And I try to be a sportsman as much as I can. And I think if I beat them, that's fine. And if they beat me, well, then I think it's a GG for them. And the only thing that I don't like is people are rage quitting on me. And what that means, rage quitting, is that if a person is going to lose, that they will just turn off the game, and that my game will say connection broken, and that you don't get your points that you would have gotten when you had won the game, so to say. So that is somebody that is just running away with the tail between his legs, so to say. And that's actually the only thing I really don't like. But still, when that happens, I try to think, well, I only had to have you 2 minutes in my life, and you need to do the rest of your life with yourself, and I don't want to share with you. So, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Sven, this has been amazing. I could talk with you for hours.
Sure.
And,
me too.
Yeah, I know. Which I think we'll be talking with you offline about how maybe we can introduce you more to our audience, especially to our young listeners out there, because we do get requests all the time about how can we make gaming more accessible for kids that are blind. So one of the things, Sven, I always like to end the podcast with is I always ask my guest of what can you leave our audience with? Either a bit of advice or a quirky quote that you sort of, maybe a mantra you have in your head.
I get this question very often, and what I used to say then is never stop dreaming, and never stop trying to fulfill your dreams. I mean, even if it looks difficult to do something, like playing video games without sight, or playing football without sight, or whatever, writing a book without sight, or anything that you think, oh, I'm not able to do this. Don't think like that. Think in the solution and not in the problem. And if you try hard, then you will find a way to do what you want to do in life. And if you keep that in mind, then I'm sure your life is going to be much better with that goal in mind than without having goals.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And again, Sven, thank you so much for joining us today. And Brady, thank you for being here. This has been fun. And for everybody out there, continue listening. We love getting your comments. It's all of you out there that have made Aftersight such a success. And just like Sven says, keep dreaming and try to find the solutions in life, and instead of focusing on the problems out there. So,
and if I may say one last thing. Sorry that I interrupt you. If I may say last thing, if people are interested, you are very welcome to visit me on my Twitch channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find information about me on blindwarriorsven.com, or twitch.tv/blindwarriorsven, and I'm more than happy to help you with any questions.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I have a feeling that your inbox is